Okay. We're getting ready to go on to Facebook, I think, in a minute.
Yep.
So if you're watching on YouTube, just give us a second and we'll start it up in just a second. I'm going to tell everybody about our, well, wait a second. I don't really want to edit, so I'll just keep jabbering. Everybody got their names up. All right. Shannon, thank you for the cocktail party last night.
Oh, so fun. Yeah. Big fun, Julie. Big fun.
Wait, wow. Seth brought me my 4th cocktail. Yes, that's right. 4 cocktails were in this thing. And like in the span of like an hour and a half, it wasn't even like
they were delicious.
Been a while since you got out, eh?
Obviously.
You can't take her anywhere.
I had no control. I had no control at all.
It was amazing.
It was not good, but she was lovely. So thank you for that. That was a really good. We'll be talking. Are you talking about that today, or are you going to talk about it closer when it's?
I'm going to talk about it a little closer. We still feel a little far.
Yeah. Okay. But for those of you that are joining us right now, like this group, and Andrea and Patricia, we missed you at Kaliba yesterday, but we all were actually live in person and socializing yesterday
together.
And it was so much fun at the California Independent Bookstore Association spring meeting. So we had this great photo. I should probably try and find it. I'll find it at some point if I can, like, oh boy, we're all sitting here. I don't need to show a photo. I'm here.
Just look at yourselves.
The photo is just proof that we were all together in the same space.
I know, it was really fun too. It was really
Great
good.
Highly recommended.
Yeah. So that was fun. So we got to meet some new authors that got some stuff coming out in the fall, late summer, fall. Some really good books to look forward to. So since we've got such a full house, I'm going to stop talking. You guys should start. We're going to end. It probably really needs to be a lightning round this time, guys. I hate to say it, but so it's going to go. It looks like it's Gabe, Patricia, Tom,
did you see that to Gabe?
Amanda, Steve, and Shannon. So I'll try and keep you all in order if I can. So Gabe, oops, wait a minute. I got to start share screen.
Share the screen, baby. Share the screen.
Share your screen. There you go.
Quick.
Gabe,
Daddy
take
needs
it
to
away.
share his screen. I'm
lightning round, Gabe.
You guys are just slowing me down.
We're like jabbing everybody. I like it. It's Monday.
Everybody's jabbing on Gabe. What's going on today, people? I thought we bonded yesterday.
Hey,
So
that was yesterday.
What have you done for me lately? Well, I'm going to present a really awesome book to you. I just thought this was a really fun book, international, suspenseful, it's historical, it's literary, it's set in a literary environment, and it is based on a found manuscript, as a lot of things seem to be. People have parents with really interesting lives. So this is a book about life.
Are you sharing your screen?
Can you not see it?
Yeah, you're not on, your screen's not up yet.
What? I've just been jabbering away. How about now?
There we go.
Sorry.
There we go.
No wonder I couldn't see anybody. Okay, my bad. So it's 1933. It's fascism is on the rise. The Third Reich is on the rise, and Emanuel Birnbaum, who is an editor of a German editor, Jewish, also leaves Germany and moves to Poland, and moves around a little bit as the Germans are, clamping down, and fascism is, getting its message across. He manages to get out well ahead of time. So he becomes a refugee, moves to Stockholm, and becomes a journalist and becomes a publisher. And the story is all about him and his entanglement with British intelligence, and fronting as a publisher and moving across borders and helping the cause of World War II. So it is just a lot of fun. This Daniel Birnbaum's grandfather was actually based on him. He was actually the publisher that this was based on in Sweden. So it's a lot of fun. like I said, good intrigue. The setting is really great. I mean, World War II, obviously, we've seen is timeless. But this is a little more on the literary, and it's a translation. But we're really excited to. I'm really excited about this book. I'm hoping it gets a lot of attention. It goes on sale tomorrow. It's been pretty well reviewed in the industry trades, but we'll see what the reviewers say tomorrow. But a lot of fun. Takes you away.
I love that cover. It's a
Cool
different cover. Yeah. It's they did a good job on that one. All right, Patricia, I'm not going to probably comment too much in between. We got too many books to get to today.
Okay.
So Patricia, take
I
it away.
represent Yale and Princeton, and it isn't often that a university press has a book on the New York Times bestseller list, but in fact we do. And that is Welcome to the Universe in 3D. Of course, this is the fantastic Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he is hilarious here. In presenting this, I'll show you his presentation, which got this book going. This book is Stereoscopic Images of the Universe, and it's made in a very cool fashion. So there's a 3D pair of glasses built into the book, as you can see. Here is a picture of Neil deGrasse Tyson and Stephen Colbert having a hilarious time on the late night show. Here is Tyson, and here's Colbert. So this really got the book off to a wild start. It is filled with beautiful stereoscopic images going from 1.2 light year seconds to 13.8 billion light years away. You can look at the moon. As you see, they are stereoscopically presented. And from there out through the universe to greater and greater distances, as you would expect. And the book is just a wonderful product. I believe Warwick's has some in stock. We are having reprint and all kinds of issues about enough stock for the unexpectedness of a university press book on the bestseller list. So get them if you can find them now, and more will be coming your way this summer, this fall, as they are flown in or come by ship. So Neil deGrasse Tyson, Welcome to the Universe in 3D.
Congratulations.
Can't be easy to produce. I mean,
It is
wow.
not easy to produce. You can see what the problem would be. This is a very elaborate project, and the glasses are fantastic. They have these and work very, very well. I haven't ever seen such a nice 3D stereoscopic presentation. Plus, they're great fun since you look so crazy.
I mean, it looks like it's for like all age groups too. It's like,
very
you know,
wide
from
age
kids
group.
all the way to
the
adults.
information is really dense and exciting, but it's also very approachable. You know, Tyson, he's really thrilling and fun, and he had a lot of fun with this book and was very particular about the kind of images that we have.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, Tom, take it away.
All right, so my book is out tomorrow, Either Or by Elif Batuman, which is the follow-up to The Idiot, which was maybe 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And that won a lot of awards. It was a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize. So The Idiot was following Celine, the main character, a young woman at Harvard, 1996. It followed her freshman year at Harvard. So now in Either Or, it's sophomore year. And so these books are coming, they're certainly coming of age. They are, they're filled with, you know, she's an intellectual seeker, this character. And so the books are filled with all of her thoughts about life. And so she somehow finds a way to inhabit youth, I feel like, and that feeling you have when you're at that age. The books are not like plot heavy. It's very much like, you know, scene after scene after scene, but they just build into this beautiful whole. It's unlike a lot of any other books I've really read. She's using clearly she's using classic novels as part of the structure, because the first book was The Idiot, which reminds us of Dostoevsky. Either Or is the same title and deals with some of the same issues as Kierkegaard's Either Or. So they're really rich intellectual novels, but still with a lot of heart, and you love the characters. She's less innocent, very innocent in the first book, less innocent in year 2, and I can't wait to follow her into her junior and senior years. So getting amazing reviews everywhere. I think that Sally Rooney fans for sure will love this. but a lot of other kinds of readers too. Dwight Garner in the New York Times, who I love his reviews. Sometimes they're really, really strong. They sell a book. Sometimes they can kill a book. In this case, he admits that he gave the first book a mixed review, but in the new review of the new book, he comes back and says, "I've been rethinking that first book. I've been rereading it, and then he likes this book even more." He says, "Either or is an even better, more soulful novel. Celine is more confident, and more important, so is Batuman." So that's on sale tomorrow. Either or by L.F. Batuman.
Who's the pub on that one?
Penguin Press.
Penguin Press. Okay. Yeah. We hosted her for The Idiot. She's lovely. I love her.
I
Just
haven't seen her
you
in
said,
person. Yeah.
Smart, just witty, just
I bet.
yeah.
Yeah,
really,
that's
really
what comes through in the book for sure. You feel smart. She makes the reader feel a lot smarter reading it.
Yeah, and she's very as smart as she is. She's very self-deprecating. It was really a good event. It's a really good event. And somebody, Beth is on here talking about the stereoscopic books. I guess Brian May. She said Brian May from Queen has one with all the old photos of the band. So that must be a really cool one to look at too. Love that. All right, Andrea, what do you got for us?
I've got The Long Corner by Alexander Maxick. This is a $27 hardcover out this week from Europa Editions, one of our lovely literary presses that does a lot of work in literature and translation, but this is one of the rare domestic novels. This is from an American, set partially in LA. This story revolves around an aspiring writer who's really at this point just a disillusioned advertising hack. And after his beloved grandmother, who has a lot of Ruth Gordon energy, a la Harold and Maude. So she's a fantastic character. And so after his grandmother dies, he's really disillusioned and accepts an invitation to the Coded Garden, which is a creativity sort of artist colony of dubious nature run by a guy named Sebastian Light, who as the novel progresses takes on more sort of sinister Trumpian notes, and it's not clear who he is, if he's the real deal or not, but I'm not going to spoil what happens. It's quite an interesting novel. It moves back and forth through time, and it's incredibly well written. Part of it, did I say that it partially set in Southern California?
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got Southern California, New York, and then the island. So, and I just think this is a fantastic read. It's one of my favorites on the spring list, The Long Corner, and it's out now. And there's some stock at Warwick's.
Interesting that they did a domestic, because have they ever done a domestic?
Every now and again,
now.
but that really tells you that they are interested in the the quality of the writing for sure.
Yeah.
Because they don't do it often. So
Right. So that levels it up even more. Okay, Amanda, you are next.
Okay. All right, so here we go. My first book that I will be presenting today, this one actually already came out. It came out on the 10th, but I haven't had a chance to present it. So here we go, presenting it now. It's called Born to be Hanged. So it's an epic story of the gentleman pirate who raided the South Seas, rescued a princess, and stole a fortune. So the year is 1680. It is the heart or the golden age of piracy, and more than 300 daring, hardened pirates gather on a remote Caribbean island, and their plan is to wreak havoc along the Pacific coastline. They're raiding cities, mines, merchant ships, and of course, the prize is all the bright gold from the Spanish. And their hope, of course, to become legendary pirates. So this is actually, this is a nonfiction title. It is based on a true story. So this is, so the company of pirates, they crossed the Panama on foot, slashing its way through the Darien Isthmus, one of the thickest jungles on the planet. And of course, you know, liberating a princess along the way, because what kind of adventure would you have if you did not have a princess to save? And then they reached the South Seas, and they attacked, you know, of course, the Spanish, gathering all of this gold against staggering odds, firepower, but they managed to undertake it. So with novelistic prose and a rip-roaring sense of adventure, Keith Thomas guides us through the pirates' legendary 2-year odyssey. We witness the buccaneers evading indigenous tribes, Spanish conquistadors, and sometimes their fellow countrymen, English countrymen. So, and with the ever-present threat of the gallows for anyone who is captured there in the back of their minds, this is a fun adventure story. And Keith Thomas is a thriller writer, so he brings that kind of storytelling to this book right here. So there you go, Born to be Hanged, an epic story of gentlemen pirates who raided the South Seas.
Gotta love a good pirate story, right?
Gotta love a good
I
pirate story.
saw this in the bookstore the other day and was like, oh my God, I must have. I didn't notice it was a Hachette book. I should have had.
Is someone dropping a Father's Day hint now?
I think there might be a Father's Day hint there somewhere.
Someone
I like it.
radical as I am.
Don't have to wait too long for that either. All right, Steve Atinsky.
You know, gentlemen pirates are the thing right now. Our flag means death. Have you
Means
guys
death.
seen any of that?
It's
Which is
funny.
hilarious. It's hilarious.
It's
So-
hilarious.
all right, for me, the first book I'm going to talk about came out last week. It's, can you see it there? Selma Blair's
Selma Blair.
memoir, Mean Baby. She's been doing the talk show circuit the last week or so. I don't read a lot of the celebrity memoirs that we publish, or anyone else, I guess, for that matter, but I started reading this to get a handle on it early on, and I kept reading and reading, and I finished it, and I really enjoyed it. She's had an interesting life. She's now a major advocate for multiple sclerosis, which she developed later on in her life, but had symptoms of, and it caused all sorts of problems when she was younger, and it went undiagnosed. But she's best known for some of the movies she did in the 90s, like Cruel Intentions and Legally Blonde. But when she was young, she started drinking when she was 7, you know, downing the Manischewitz Passover dinner. And she was very insecure and would drink, you know, on the sly, and at school she was drinking, and she became an alcoholic. And she's just, that's one aspect of her life. There's some really good celebrity stories. She also had this weird phase where she went around biting people, like on an airplane. She had to be escorted off of an airplane because she had bitten. I don't remember who she bit.
As an adult?
As an adult.
As
She
an
did it as
adult.
a child. She bit like her sister, but then, so again, I don't, you know, she must have been drunk or something. A lot
I'm
of
going to
it
be
she did-
Googling that.
Yeah, Google that. And another interesting part is when later she became friends with Carrie Fisher, and good friends and with Carrie Fisher. And I think some of her writing is inspired by Carrie Fisher's way of looking at herself and her life. And anyway, I enjoyed it. It's been out for about a week, and that's Selma Blair, Mean Baby.
Sounds good. Yeah, she's been all over. I've been seeing her all over the circuit. So
Yeah.
looks like good. And there, we hosted a couple authors last week or the week before, and they've been on a kick of reading all the celebrity, or listening to on audio all of the celebrity bios or
Yeah.
biographies. And so it's just, they've been great. It's always like, that's kind of a fun little thing to do.
Well, we don't have time, but I'm pretty sure Steve has read old celebrity memoirs, right? You have a history of reading on stage.
That's
Right?
true. I was in a show where that was the premise of the show. My friend Gene Pack, who he created this show called Celebrity Memoirs. It's went on to be on Broadway later and win Drama Desk Awards. And we would read out loud little passages from celebrity bios. And we did a big thing at the end where we did the reading from Eddie Fisher and Elizabeth Taylor and Debbie Reynolds, the whole fiasco around their affair. So it was a lot of fun to do.
I love that. Oh,
And some of the stuff is just hilarious that you find in these memoirs, like people talking about ridiculous. Like I have to just go on one thing where Neil Sedaka, in his book, he talks about the kind of food he eats in every single restaurant. When I go to a Chinese restaurant, I order this. When I go to an Italian, this is what I order. When I go, and somehow these got printed. I don't know how.
there was no editing.
No editing.
I love it. Awesome. All right, Shannon, what do you got for us?
Okay. First up, I'm going to talk about The Shore by Catherine Rundy. This is out tomorrow. So I sum it up by saying it's a story of love and loss set on the Jersey Shore. But the premise is it's a story of a family who are locals. They're the Dunn family. The husband and wife were both teachers, like school teachers, and they kind of worked and saved and did odd jobs and started buying vacation rentals. So they have like a nice little business, renting out vacation rentals all summer, and their daughters help them. And it's not an easy life, but they're like on the right track. And the husband, Brian, is diagnosed with a brain tumor, and it becomes a family kind of in crisis, even though above board, they're all trying to keep the business together and try to look like everything is they're managing just fine. But the brain tumor is affecting him in ways where he's losing memory, and it's making him angry and like kind of erratic behavior. And they have 2 teenage daughters, and instead of kind of bringing them together, they are all dealing with this crisis in their own separate ways. The mom has thrown herself into work, and then also like seeking advice on like a blog, and the other daughters have their own after school jobs, and one's kind of looking for romance, and one is kind of also created a persona of a wife on the blog and is like stalking what her mom's doing. So it's like a story. It's like they're fractured and grieving and trying to hold it all together, but set against the magic of a summer on the Jersey Shore. So it's a beautiful story. It's a debut, and it's out tomorrow.
Sounds really good. So just a
It's
really
really
good, like familial kind of
Families,
story.
yeah.
Yeah. Sounds really good. All right, Gabe. Round 2.
So I'm doing book 2, and Anthony Horowitz, everybody is familiar with. He has done the various mysteries, the Magpie Murders, and the Word is Murder, and all these detective novels that he's been playing with the genre a little bit, and there's these twists and turns that his books take, and the way he constructs them has been very interesting, and they've been really successful. But he's also on the side. He's been doing these a series of James Bond books. I think this is his 4th James Bond book. I think it is his 4th James Bond book, and he does a really good job. They're really a lot of fun. Ian Fleming, honestly, I think people have forgotten about Discount because they see the movies and don't associate the books necessarily with the franchise, the movie franchise, but they're a lot of fun. I mean, it's a really over-the-top character, obviously. They're really short. And I read these as a kid, and I've reread a couple, and they hold up as well as they did when I was 12 and 14. So give him a shot. He puts you in a really great spot. In this instance, James Bond, it's M's funeral. This is how the book opens up. It's M's funeral. Everybody's gathered around the graveside except James Bond. Why? Because James is in jail, and he's the guy who apparently pulled the trigger and murdered M, and no one knows, and not even James Bond knows who he is or what he's doing. So we throw that in there, so there's an unreliability of the narrator, and Tony knows how to write a book. He makes, I mean, Anthony, he doesn't like to be called Tony. He likes to write.
Are you personal friends? You and Tony hanging out?
He's he's always playing around with the form, and then it's been a lot of fun reading his books. The last bunch of years, they're just a lot of fun. And so if you like James Bond, if you've never read James Bond, they're a lot of fun.
Is he the only one that's doing the James Bonds, or is he the only one like contracted or whatever you want to call it?
I think there's been a couple of others that have come and gone, but he's been the most consistent.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds really good. All right, Patricia.
Okay. Well, it was fun to hear about Either Or, and just to fortify yourself, if you're reading that, Princeton does publish the Kierkegaard Either Or, so you can supplement.
There you go.
I'm going to show you a Yale University Press book that is incredibly, incredibly lavish. It is a Monday. We're not all that into dressing up, but if you have it in mind in your future, this is Guo Pei. The book is staggeringly large. I can hardly show you all of it. The show is opening in San Francisco at the Legion, and the book is shipping, I think. Guo Pei is a Chinese designer, Beijing and Paris. Her work takes off from fairy tale and myth and Chinese motifs. Here is a Chinese actress on the runway in a calligraphy dress. Just an idea of the general lavishness. You will know her from the famous moment when Rihanna appeared at the Met Gala in a yellow satin dress that weighed 52 pounds and took 4 people to carry the train, and 50,000 hours, 50,000 to create the dress. There's a whole suite of clothes which are made to look like porcelain. Look at the way this is structured, and then the incredible detail. And just in case you thought you could get away with comfortable shoes, they would be something like this.
Yo.
The book is absolutely lavish in every way. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. And unusually, there is also another item created for the museums and for you, Guo Pei coloring book. This is not very typical for us, and shows her fashion sketches all the way through. She's really quite a young designer. She's been sewing since she was 2 years old. She's almost a myth herself. And I'm very excited about the book. So there it is. Thank you.
The book looks amazing. Anybody that's into fashion will, but I love the coloring book idea.
Yeah, it's something different.
Yeah, that's fantastic to go along with that. Although I would be like trying to look at what the original was supposed to look like and try and
right. It
so we have to be a colored book by numbers for me.
Yeah, the fashion is full of allusions to all sorts of story, and you kind of pick up on it as you go through. It's fun to go to her website and go through her designs in Paris.
Awesome. Very cool. Okay, Tom.
All right, my next book is Think Like a Horse from Grant Gallagher. So this is, the subtitle kind of gives you a hint to what we're doing here. Lessons in life, leadership, and empathy from an unconventional cowboy. So he runs a ranch, very like a world famous ranch in Wyoming, Jackson Hole, called the Diamond Cross Ranch. And he spent a life as a horseman around horses. And, over the course of his life, as he became more and more, well known, he started teaching the lessons that he'd learned from training horses and from horses to Fortune 500 CEOs, celebrities, people like the Kardashians and Kanye, sports figures and coaches. So it just gives you an idea that the lessons in this book can be applied to really any kind of endeavor you're looking for, or your regular life. And there's a lot of just life lessons that he talks about that just gather more meaning from the life that he's led. When he came into Putnam to the publisher to talk about the book, and they've seen a lot of pitches from authors, these cynical publishers, they said it was like the most moving, the most, they couldn't believe what they were seeing. So he's the real deal. I guess that's what it is. He walks into an office, or when you see him on TV, you will realize why he's so powerful in his message. But don't take it from us. Take it from Adrian, who has a really good eye for so many things, but especially books like this. And she loved it. And she said, do yourself a favor and read this illuminating book. So many great takeaways for life and work. So couldn't agree more. So that's Think Like a Horse.
Yeah.
And this is on sale, not this. Yeah, can we get her to come over?
I know, I was gonna say, Adrian, you want to come talk about Think Like a Horse?
It's not on sale until next week. So a week from tomorrow.
She just said no, but she loved it.
Oh, perfect.
She doesn't want to come on camera.
But she loved it. That's all we need to know.
That's all we need to know, is that Adrian loved it. All right, Andrea, what do you got?
I want to talk about the private lives of public birds. Learning to listen to the birds where we live. This is by Jack Gedney. It's $26, hardcover, paper overboard, so it doesn't have a jacket, which is good for if you want to take it out into the field. This is from one of our very well-respected Bay Area publishers, Heyday Press. And so this basically is to enhance bird watchers, just, your regular everyday bird watchers, understanding of 15 common Western birds. And he, the author conveys that through blending very poetic and lyrical writing with up-to-date biological science. So it's got everything. If you like nature writing, you're going to totally appreciate these 15 essays. And if you're into the science, you're also, you're not going to be disappointed. Each of these 15 essays also is headed by some beautiful little line drawings here. And I just think this is such a sweet book. For anybody who just wants to perhaps brush up on common birds in the West, or anybody who's interested in nature writing, really, it's quite good. It's got a field guide dimension as well. And, come on, if you're not into it, somebody is going to love this as a gift. So, Private Lives of Public Birds.
Somebody always loves birds. And can I just say that I love that title, because it's just a crack me up. It's a really good title.
Yeah, I love it too.
All right. And so Tom, I don't know if you're going to be talking about this, because we might have already talked about it last week. I think so. Not so. Darcy's on here and she read Dictionary of Lost Words, but she had to put this down to catch tea time, but is so Emma's going to be here in person live with us tonight.
And I came directly from her event in Manhattan Beach to tea time, and she was on her way down from Manhattan Beach to La Jolla. So she's on her way. She's probably still on her way as we speak.
I love her, love her. So thank you, Darcy, for taking time. Thank you for stopping reading and coming and joining tea time. But you're gonna love it when you go back. I love that one.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, Amanda.
Okay, up again. Here we go. So another nonfiction today. So this one I have is The 100 Great American Parks, with a foreword by Garth Brooks. How cool is that? So one of the things that I like about this book, that it's not just national parks. So this book does, of course, feature our national parks, but it also features 37 state, recreational, city parks, and green spaces throughout the country. And we got some pictures here. So just, and what's really great is that this is broken up into sections, as you can see. So there's the West and the Pacific, East and Mid-Atlantic. So you can look for your own region. Of course, it's got the beautiful photographs that we expect from National Geographics, with really fun descriptions, with a little bit of history, which I like about it as well. So if there is a park that has, for example, native, pictographs or anything like that. So there'll be a little bit of history on the tribe, you know, some of the origins of the, you know, either the structures, the art, whatever is all included in this as well. So it covers such a wide range of places, things to see, things to do within all of these parks. You know, of course, being outdoors has definitely grown because of the pandemic, and I expect it to continue to grow, and people just love spending time outdoors. You know, I have fond memories of, like, you know, visiting the Grand Canyon and going like this on a little boat down the river. So, you know, I think this is just a really great book that's got some beautiful images in it from Nat Geo.
Looks like a great book. Another great, looks like it might be another good Father's Day book.
You kind of see my pretty much, and it's a good print size too. It's not too big. Oh, stupid background.
Yeah,
Whatever. But,
whatever. It looks like a good one. Good one, good one. Okay, let's see. Shannon. You're up. Oh no, Steve, sorry. Got out of order. I went out of order. Sorry, Steve's up. You guys are on, you guys look different on Facebook than here, so I have to use my brain today. It's dangerous.
Okay, well, next up I've
Especially
got,
after yesterday.
is this showing up? River of the Gods.
Oh,
Yes, by Candice Millard, who's
Yeah.
just a fantastic historian, biographer. She's known she did one on Teddy Roosevelt and on Winston Churchill, and she just tells interesting parts of history and historical figures' lives in an interesting, great way. So anyway, this is the story of the search for the source of the Nile. And in the late 19th century, there was this frenzy of interest in ancient Egypt. And Richard Burton, not to be confused with the one who was married to Elizabeth Taylor twice or 3 times, I can't remember, and John Hanning Speke were sent by the Royal Geographical Society in England to find the source of the Nile and claim the prize for England. And Burton spoke 29 languages, a decorated soldier. He was an atheist, he was mercurial, and Speke was his opposite, an aristocrat, an army officer. He was determined to make his mark, passionate about hunting, and they clashed from the start. And there would be continuous hardships along the way. 2 years into the expedition, Burton became too sick to continue, and Speke did finally reach Lake Victoria, or named it Lake Victoria, the lake that he found, and claimed it for England, the source of the Nile. And then he took all the credit when they got home, and Burton, was a big fight in the press, and they were going to debate publicly, and Speke shot himself the day before, or just before they were about to debate. And then there's a third major person who was this an enslaved African, Murback Bombay, who I think he was African. Oh no, I'm sorry. Forgive me, he's Indian. And he really was the guide to get them to what became Lake Victoria. So anyway, this is that story. It just came out last week. She's just a great writer, great biographer. River of the Gods, Candice Millard.
Yep, and that's we all love Kim, who is our resident bookseller who recommends wonderful books. She loved that one, and I think she listened to it on Libro.fm.
Oh,
I
good.
think. Yeah, so another good way to listen to those too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so good one. All right, Shannon.
Hey, can you guys see this? I'm going to talk about You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty. I love that title, and I'm sorry I don't have the actual book on hand because this cover is gorgeous.
It's really good.
It's Akweke Emezi, and we're so excited to have them on our list. I feel like they can do no wrong. YA, Pet, and the death of OJ, was it Vivek?
Vivek Oji.
Is that Tom's book? Is that your book, Tom?
Yeah.
And Freshwater, and now publishing what their editor is saying, maybe one of their most commercial books. This is, I'm going to call it sexy, sultry, steamy.
Okay.
the main character, Faye, has lost the love of her life in an accident 5 years ago, and has been putting her life back together. And after 5 years is finally ready to dip her toe in the dating pool. She's living with her best friend in a brownstone in New York, and she dips her toe in, but ends up in a full-blown whirlwind romance and whisked off to an island, but things don't go as expected. So the writing is amazing, and like I said, sultry, sexy. I started listening to it on my laptop, and then I was like, oh, I like shut it to me, run around. But a super fun and also I think literary read as well.
And
There's
I love
children
that
in the
they,
house.
they are like conquering all genres. Like, no,
Yeah, like there's nothing they can't do.
exactly. Yeah, it's amazing.
That's amazing. No, it's like there's children in the house.
Yeah, I was like a little warning. I mean, from sentence 1, so get ready. But so good.
I love it. All right, lightning round. Gabe, start us off.
Gonna finish quickly. There we are.
Yay!
Wrong share. I'm going to start off with a quick lightning round book. It's a paperback reissue or issue, the first paperback edition of The Imposter Syndrome by Kathy Wang, who wrote The Family Trust, which was a really fun book. And Imposter Syndrome, even better, because she does the Family Trust was hilarious. Family patriarch dying and everybody scrambling for whatever cash might be available. Imposter Syndrome takes place like 2006. Julia Lerner's living in Moscow. She's a university grad. She's into the computer sciences, and she's recruited by Russia's largest spy agency. And she is sent to Silicon Valley. And then you fast forward to 2018, and Julia is running a company called Tangerine. She's super successful. She's the CEO. She's definitely no do-gooder. Her idea of equality for women is basically getting rid of any women that's too bothersome. She ships them out. She is into that, offering low bids for startups. And if they don't bite, then she'll just crush them and take their technology anyways. So she's not a really good person. And then in comes young Alice Liu, a first generation Chinese American young girl whose parents are just thrilled that she's got through college. She's a big success and she's working for this major company. And Alice starts, through the course of her work, starts seeing that perhaps the security of the company isn't that as tight as it should be. And then she starts seeing that it looks like Julia might actually be sticking her fingers into the system and moving monies around and stuff. So there's something going on. So these two worlds collide, and it's just a lot of fun. Highly recommend it. It's a great read for an airport. It's a great read for vacation. Summer's coming up. It's a good gift. Fun to talk about. There are also serious issues at play here. Women in the workplace, women in technology, a necessary evil. Just a lot of stuff that she talks about. So Kathy's pretty brilliant, and she's a really fun writer, very commercial, but there's a lot. You read this, it's a commercial novel, but there is a lot of depth to what she's writing about.
I thought you said women are a necessary evil.
Not women. Technology. Don't quote me. That's what
Thank you for clarifying that.
We're the
Yeah, you know
necessary.
what? Be careful, because then Gabe will have to be wearing his dark glasses and like a hat, maybe a fake mustache when he's out. Like, they're not going to be wanting your autograph anymore.
Exactly.
Gabe.
Yeah, you're gonna have to come into Warwick's incognito. You're famous here now.
Don't paint me in a bad light.
I love it. All right, that one sounds good. Sounds like it looks like we've got it on it's a pre-order. So is it out tomorrow or is it
It's out tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. All right. Okay, Patricia.
Oh, I'm going to show you a Yale book that's out. It's called Scent, A Natural History of Fragrance by Elise Vernon Pearlstein. It's a really lovely book. It's done with images through it of this kind, little drawings that introduce chapters. She is a biologist turned perfumer. She's giving us a book that brings history, science, and chemistry together, and almost from the plant point of view. Why did the plant evolve? What were the reasons for creating aromatic molecules of all kinds? The book is full of information, full of stories, full of unexpected byways and detours as you think about rose oil being distilled, or irises named after a goddess, saffron. She brings in Rabindranath Tagore, tales of Genji, all sorts of allusions, caravans of the spice trade, aromatic woods of different kinds, and flowers. She talks about some of the great perfumers like House of Yardley, which is always centered on their signature scent of lavender. She talks about the chemistry behind producing perfumes, so that at one point, a hydrogenated molecule of jasmine was produced and kind of sent around to a lot of the great perfumers, and really became the heart of Dior's Eau de Sauvage, things like that. So she's very charming. Here's an author picture of her. She's full of information. I think perfume is very exciting right now. Essential oils. People are drawn to their own scent, signature scent, or finding that, and they're also interested in the history of perfume and of the great perfume houses. This is a lovely book, very timely and a little bit different.
Yeah, no, I love that. And there is just a little bit of a resurgence of the whole perfumery thing. Yeah. So it's like kind of that lost art that's back again. Yeah, love it. Okay, Tom.
All right, so my pick is Her Majesty's Royal Coven. It's coming out in trade paperback. It's a trade paperback original, out not tomorrow, but in a week, May 31st. So I think just from the title, you know whether you're in or out on this book. It's the beginning. It's Juno Dawson is the author. She's a bestseller in the UK. She's an actress, model, but also writer and kind of activist. But this is her first adult book, and the first, even her YA, which has been published in the UK, hasn't been published here yet. So she's a real discovery, and this is the first of a trilogy. So it's about witches that Queen Elizabeth long ago established Her Majesty's Royal Coven. Of course, not everyone knows that. So now, decades later, there's sort of a civil war among the witches, and it takes off from there. So this is for fantasy lovers. It's for lovers of witches. Witches are back in a big way. Anglophiles they never go away. So there's a lot of readers for this book. And then also, you don't have to read it this way, but the subtext, there's a political subtext about gay and trans rights that runs through the book. That is another way to read the book too. So really a lot of fun. I think this is going to be one of our sleepers of the summer, Her Majesty's Royal Coven.
Yeah, because those kind of books are the kind that just like they find an audience and then it just like goes.
Exactly.
You know. So no, I think you're right. I think you might have a good sleeper there. Okay, Andrea.
Okay, I'm going to talk about a children's book. This is The Friendship Surprise. And this is from one of our new stellar children's publishers, Red Comet. I spoke of them a couple of times now. I just really love what they're doing. This is a $17.99 hardcover picture book for the ages 4 to 8 set. And it came out, I think in March, but it's just so lovely and I want people to see it. And it's the story of a friendship triangle. It first starts out that Little Red, who's a fox, and his best friend Hazel are inseparable, but Hazel the dormouse, when she hibernates one winter, Little Red meets Brock the badger and they become inseparable themselves. And Little Red is a little afraid to break the news to Hazel that he has another friend. And is not so much a coward, but is very sensitive and doesn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. He doesn't want to hurt Brock's feelings. He doesn't want to hurt Hazel's feelings, but he's acting so weird and distracted that they both notice, both Brock and Hazel notice that he's acting weird. Now, this is a beautiful little quiet moment between Hazel and Little Red. I mean, this, can you believe the art? It's just so gorgeous.
So pretty. So
Um,
good.
and so he's yeah, it's so great. And so Hazel decides to follow Little Red one day to find out what's going on, because he's always leaving early. And he was never one to do that. And then she realizes that he has another friend. There's Brock and Little Red. And so she decides to gently talk to him about it and have a chat with him. And then out from the bushes comes Brock, who also thought Little Red was acting strange. and they're like, we can all be friends. And so they are. And I just love the art. It's so beautiful. It's a sweet story, and it definitely promotes talking honestly about hard feelings and about building community. And it is such a gorgeous little story. And I hope that you'll pick this up for the kids in your lives. The Friendship Surprise. And that's in the store now.
That artwork is stunning.
Beautiful artwork.
Yeah.
It's so great. And I'm getting a little choked up thinking about this story too. It's so sweet, so I have a soft spot for this story. It's like,
Yeah.
it's treated really well. And I think that, it can be read on a lot of different levels. You don't even need to like have a discussion about like talking about hard feelings. You can just read it for the delightful story.
Yeah, really good. Love the kids' books. Okay, Amanda. Are you ending with the kids' book too?
Of course, I always finish with a kid's book. So here we go. We have Cookies and Milk by Sean Amos. So this is a semi-autobiographical novel. So 11-year-old Ellis watches his summer plans go up in smoke in the summer of 1976 when his dad announces that he is opening the first ever chocolate chip cookie store, and Ellis is going to help. So it's exploring entrepreneurship, life with divorced parents, growing up Black in a predominantly white neighborhood. Sean addresses tricky and uncomfortable subjects, in a really fun way. This is just great. He, of course, is the son of the absolute famous Amos. Yes, that famous Amos from the Cookies. So that is why this book is semi-autobiographical. And so he talked about, that with, so this again is influenced by his own childhood working in his father's cookie shop, and just being the son of famous Amos. So everyone knows those cookies. So here you go. And Sean is actually a very accomplished musician, friends with the likes of Oprah and Alicia Keys. And we got to listen to him play, which was really fantastic. So there you go, Cookies and Milk.
Is that a middle grade reader?
It is a middle grade, yes.
Okay, yeah, I love it. Who doesn't love famous Amos? Okay, Steve.
Okay, last up for me is a new novel from Will Brewer, called The Red Arrow. I think you can sort of see that. And it's a very trippy novel. It's about a young writer. He was really an artist, but on a fluke, he published a book of shorts, autobiographical short stories. It becomes a hit. And then he gets a big book deal, and he blows all the money, and he's heavily in debt. And so he takes a job as a ghostwriter on a biography of a memoir of a famous physicist. And they're halfway through the book, and the physicist disappears. Well, maybe not literally disappears, but disappears from our young hero's life. And he goes to track him down. He goes to find him. He ends up, he's in Italy trying to find this physicist. Meanwhile, he suffers from an intense depression, a lifelong depression. He calls it the mist. And it's a very good description. His descriptions of depression in this are just spot on. And he undergoes the Michael Pollan psychedelic mushroom kind of theory, treatment, because he's living in the Bay Area while all this is going on. And it really begins to help him. And anyway, it ties in really interestingly to the physicist's own story. And it just has a real trippy and interesting ways that things connect in this book. It got a really, really great review in the LA Times, I think either last week or just a couple of days ago. So that's my bonus round pick is The Red Arrow from Will Brewer.
Sounds really good.
It is good.
Yeah, it sounds like a good one. All right, Shannon, bring us home.
Okay, I'm bringing you home with Tom Perrotta. We're so excited. You know Tom Perrotta from Election and Little Children and Mrs. Fletcher and so many more. This is on sale next week, so pre-order now, next Tuesday. I think there might be a small amount of signed copies going to Warwick's. So this is, Tom is bringing Tracy Flick back from Election. So it's 25 years since was in high school, and she did not take the world by storm. She is working as the assistant principal in a New Jersey high school. And it's just full of Tom's like dark humor and wit, and like somehow having his finger on the pulse of like the cultural moment in suburbia, like right now. So Tracy gets news that the principal is suddenly retiring. And of course, she's been feeling very stuck in midlife, and like goes on like with renewed zeal to figure out how to get the job promotion. But he's great. I've just loved everything that he does. And ever since we've gotten this, and I haven't had a chance yet, I've been meaning to watch Election again, because that's kind of one of my favorite movies ever.
Love it.
So there.
What has Reese Witherspoon weighed in yet on Tracy Flick's new
TBD.
I love it.
Certainly should.
It would be so cool.
Exactly. All right, I'm going to highlight one of let's see, what am I doing here? There we go. Got to highlight a couple events. Obviously tonight we have Emma coming, Sam the cooking guy will be here, James Patterson. Got another great lineup, so look at our website. But I'm going to interview this gentleman on Thursday, and I just finished this book this weekend, and how I have never heard of Billy OCallaghan before is a travesty. This book was so good. I can't wait to talk to him. His writing he is right up there with every other Irish author that you know of and that are famous, and hopefully his star will shine. I think Andrea, this might be the first time it's been published in the US. Is that correct?
No, but he's been published here before, but it's just he's really never taken off like he should, considering how amazing his writing is. I mean, basically he embraces everything that you want from an Irish writer: family,
right,
church, like corruption,
all of it,
family drama, like just gorgeous prose about the land. I mean, it basically has it all.
Yeah, no, his writing is stunning. And this book it's not a big book, it's 200 and some pages, but he packs so much into it that it's, oh my God, amazing. So I can't wait for that conversation.
I challenge anybody to read 2 pages of this and then walk away, because it's impossible.
Impossible. Yeah.
So good.
So,
He's a lovely writer. We published his first 2 books. My Coney Island Baby was the first book that we published.
Okay.
And it is about a couple who meet once a year. And this time they meet to dissolve. And it's beautiful. It's again a short little novel. And it didn't gain any momentum, and his short stories were tough. But
I mean, he's written like 100 short stories, 100 essays, or 100 short stories. I mean, he's an established writer. I mean, it's just, I just don't understand. It's like, oh my God,
thank you for helping his cause now. I'm glad that you're advocating for him.
Let's lift this voice, because it's a really good one. So, and I'm sorry, everybody, we got it done though in under an hour. So I'm glad about that, but I didn't get to comment we had some great comments going on the chat. So thank you all for all your fun comments. It was a really good chat going on. So sorry I didn't get to it, but I wanted to make sure everybody had lots of time with their books today. So another great week. We will see everybody. I am going to be here on Monday. So Amanda in the background, you better have some books. I have a feeling some of you might be taking Monday off for Memorial Day. That's why I think I saw some releases that are coming out next Tuesday.
Very
I picked up on this stuff. You know.
Well, I
But
think
we
I'll be
will
here
see
as
you
I've
again.
been every Memorial Day.
What's that, Gabe?
I'll be here like I've been here every Memorial Day, I think.
You and me, baby. You and me. So thanks, everybody. Have a good week. Have a good Memorial Day holiday, and we'll see everybody on Monday. Bye.
Bye, all.
Thanks.
I got a split, y'all.
Okay.